Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Zach, you may or may not know me. Now normally this channel is dedicated to very simple and not very complex topics, things like EHT, Ethan Hassan Destiny drama. But today I want to talk about something a lot more serious. Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today in cold blood. There are a lot of things about this case that don't sit right with me. Obviously not just the fact that a man was murdered before our eyes. I've seen the video, it's horrific, and I knew as soon as he was shot that he was very likely dead. I've never, ever been a Charlie Kirk fan. In fact, I've pushed back on a lot of things he said. Me and him disagree on many things, and the only things we really do agree on are some of the things that he says about Christianity and some of the things that he says about the Second Amendment. However, I will never celebrate the death of anybody, especially not somebody who wasn't even a politician. He was just a mouthpiece. Charlie Kirk was not a good man, and he spread a lot of hate and a lot of hateful rhetoric. That being said, anybody who tries to come in my comments and tell me he deserved what he got, I will not engage with it, and I will delete your comment. This is not the place to discuss that. This portion of the video is going to be dedicated strictly to the facts and what we know. That being said, there isn't much because it has just occurred. Later in the video, I'm going to be sharing my own thoughts and I'm going to get a little bit conspiratorial. I want to preface this video with the fact that I am not suicidal. I don't think I'm important enough for anybody to try and kill me. However, I need to cover my bases. I'm planning on moving to go back to college and I'm very excited for my future. I have no reason to go anywhere or go missing. Both of my cars are broken right now, so I can't travel. And again, I have no plans of harming myself or others. Charlie Kirk was shot in his carotid artery on September 10th, 2025. It happened in Utah at a college campus where guns were not allowed. As soon as I saw that bullet enter his neck, I had a feeling he was dead. There was a lot of blood. Still, I prayed and I hoped that he would come through. Not because I'm a fan of Charlie Kirk, but because nobody deserves to die like that. This may be construed as an act of political violence, but Charlie Kirk was not a politician. Charlie Kirk was an activist. I don't want this to be construed as political violence, even if it was motivated by politics. This is gun violence, and it can happen to anyone. The Second Amendment is our protected right, and I believe in the Second Amendment. I also believe in more gun control. That's where me and Charlie differed. He's been on record saying, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our God-given rights. The irony of this statement is not lost on me. Charlie Kirk was pro-Second Amendment, but not pro-gun control. Just like many people in America, he thinks everybody should have access to guns. That's where me and him disagree, but I'm not going to delve into that right now. That's for later. I first learned about the shooting from a content creator known as The Zerg. He's a pedophile catcher. I had seen his Instagram story where he was getting ready to go and talk with Charlie Kirk at this campus. He then posted about an hour later saying that there was a gunshot and that he was leaving. I planned on making a video on that because I found it interesting. At the time, I didn't know Charlie Kirk had actually been shot. A couple hours later, I was informed by my news app that, in fact, Charlie Kirk had been shot, and I went and checked the Zerg story, and he confirmed it as well. Now, for the last 6 hours or so, we didn't know for sure if he was dead or not, but recently, it's been confirmed dead. By the President of the United States, by many news organizations, by everybody. There was a lot of misinformation going around that Charlie Kirk was still alive and in stable condition receiving blood transfusions, but as of now, it has been confirmed that Charlie Kirk is dead. He leaves behind a wife and 2 children, to who my prayers go out to. Truly, I'm sorry. It's a terrible act of gun violence, and there's no excuses. Again, I want to make it clear that I was never a fan of Charlie Kirk, nor did I ever support him. But I don't think anybody deserves to die the way he did, and I don't think that's crazy to say. If anybody disagrees with me, do me a favor and leave this channel. I will not entertain anybody who says that he deserved what he got. I will not entertain anybody who says that he was asking for it. To the people who are saying that, if you choose to stay, to the people who believe he deserved this, I think you are scum. I think you are no better than the people who use Irina Zarutska's death to further racism. If you use this to push your own agenda, I'm disgusted by you. Today is a day that we need to learn to mourn, and a day that we need to learn to pay respects to his family. Afterwards, we can talk all we want about what this means for the future, but for now, we mourn his death. Again, I pray for Charlie and his family, and I hope he rests in peace, even if I disagreed with him on pretty much everything to an exponential amount. The director of the FBI, Kash Patel, has confirmed that they have a suspect in custody. Whether or not this was the shooter, we don't know. We have no information. There are photos going around, even the Zerg posted them, of an old man being arrested. I don't know if this is the same suspect that they have in custody. I've heard that the shot was fired from about 200 yards away, but I can't verify that. It's also not lost on me the irony that he was speaking on mass shootings when he was shot. We also know that the Prime Minister of Israel came out and spoke on this, Mr. Netanyahu, and he's quoted saying Charlie Kirk was murdered for speaking the truth and defending freedom. A lion-hearted friend of Israel, he fought the lies and stood tall for Judeo-Christian civilization. I spoke to him only 2 weeks ago and invited him to Israel. Sadly, that visit will not take place. He also added that we lost an incredible human being, his boundless pride in America and his valiant belief in free speech will leave a lasting impact. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. You may or may not know that I despise Zionism. I've been very vocal about it in the past. Truly, I wish I had more facts to give you guys on this situation. I wish I did, but unfortunately they're not being very transparent and we don't know much more. What I do know is that his children were in attendance at the college campus and they very likely saw their father bleeding out, and for that, I have no words. That being said, nothing about this sits right with me. It reminds me of very recently, Irina, her death. It was pushed in the media for all the wrong reasons. She was a Ukrainian refugee come to America, a leftist, a vocal supporter of BLM. She had a poster in her room, and many people saw that and saw that she was killed by a black man and used it to further their racist talking points. I'm disgusted by that, and I will not stand for it. I'm seeing the same thing happen with Charlie Kirk. When I posted about it on my Instagram story earlier, I had many people slide up telling me he deserved it and that he had it coming. Charlie Kirk was by no means a good man in my eyes. But I don't think you need to be a good man to avoid being shot in the neck and killed in front of everybody. I myself have not been a good man all my life. I try very hard to be, but I've made mistakes. I've done things people might want to shoot me over. And I pray that I will never be shot or killed because I chose to voice my opinions even if people disagreed with them. Now, I want to get into what I consider to be more conspiratorial. Again, I want to take ownership of these claims. These are all my claims. Again, I am not suicidal. I do not plan on going anywhere anytime soon. I do not have a car to travel. I am happy and I'm looking forward to my future going back to school. When Irina was murdered, like I said, her death was used as a talking point to further racist ideas, and now we're seeing it again to advocate for more gun control. I've always been pro-gun control. I've always been happy to say I'm pro-Second Amendment, but I also want more strict gun laws. Charlie Kirk was not that. Charlie Kirk was not that at all. He believed that everybody should have their access to a gun if they want to, and that it should never be infringed on. The irony of this fact is not lost on me that Charlie Kirk was also a Christian, killed by a gun in a Christian state like Utah. There's irony in both cases, Irina being an avid leftist, killed by a black man even though she supported Black Lives Matter. Just like there's very obvious irony in Charlie Kirk's death. The human in me doesn't want to believe this was orchestrated, but the skeptic in me questions everything. Could this have been done to divide us further? Because it's working. It's working, absolutely. I'm already seeing people talk about how this is a left versus right issue. It's not. Not at all. If you still believe in the two-party system, I'm sorry, but you're sorely mistaken. Your vote does not matter. The people in power do not care what you think, and they will never listen to you. Charlie Kirk was not so important that they could avoid killing him. Charlie Kirk was not indisposable. There are 1,000 right-wing grifters that will be their mouthpieces. Nick Fuentes, Alex Jones, they're still out there. Charlie Kirk might have been one of the biggest, but that could have been the reason that they killed him. Because the outrage I've seen online already tells me that if this is the case, they've succeeded. It's also not lost on me the fact that this all comes out right after Epstein's birthday book is revealed, implicating Donald Trump further. I have a feeling that's not going to be in the news as much as we'd like to see. I have a feeling this is going to flood the news. I've also seen several people who I know as right-wing influencers posting about how we need more gun control. And that confuses me because the people on the right, conservatives, have always pushed against gun control and have always been pro-Second Amendment with no limitations for decades. But for decades, people have also been trying to limit the Americans' access to guns. We saw it in the Las Vegas shooting, which I believe was staged. There's many things that point to that. The fact that they claim it was an AR-15 with a bump stock that fired all those rounds, but it could not have been physically possible. If you watch the video, you also hear multiple gunshots going off. They've been pushing to ban the AR-15 for decades now. It's used disproportionately in mass shootings, and it's one of the best home defense weapons you can own as an American citizen. It's easy to maintain, it's easy to mod, it's not too unreasonably expensive, and it's great for home defense. I personally believe the AR-15 is one of the last lines of defense for American citizens against a corrupt government. We don't know yet what gun was used in the shooting of Charlie Kirk, but I wouldn't be surprised if we find out it's an AR-15. That shot was trained, that shot was very precise, no average Joe could make that shot. As I said, we're seeing slowly right-wing influencers are starting to push on gun control. It's not all of them just yet, but a couple of them are. I have a feeling we're going to see, going forward, people pushing for more gun control and pushing to take away guns from American citizens. I encourage you to arm yourself and protect you and your own, and to not fall for the traps that they lay out for us. It's unfortunate because I know that Charlie Kirk is going to be turned into a political talking point going forward. People are going to use him to advocate for more gun control, or they're going to use the fact that it was likely a leftist that shot him to push the narrative that leftists are violent, and that they want to kill you for exercising your freedom of speech. All this is going to do is divide us further. I encourage you guys to not fall for this rhetoric. It's not you versus me. It's them versus us. Us as American citizens need to come together and understand that these people in power are trying to control us. They always have been. It's two sides of the same coin. Two wings on the same bird. We also found out that a school was also shot up today. However, we don't have much information on that either. It was in Colorado, and my prayers go out to the families of anybody affected by it. I hope everybody is well and that they survive. I know 3 are in critical condition, but we don't know anything more. I wish I had more information to give you guys, but I just wanted to give my thoughts on the situation and encourage you guys to do your own research and not fall for the tactics that they're going to use to divide us further. It's a very, very sad day, and again, my prayers go out to Charlie and his family. I hope he rests in peace despite the fact that I've despised him for more than a decade now. At the end of the day, it could be anyone. It could be you, it could be me. I could be shot and killed in the street tomorrow. And the way I look at it is if the government has guns and bad people have guns, you need to have a gun as well. I myself stay armed. I highly encourage everybody to arm themselves to protect themselves and their family. Even if you don't like guns. I don't like guns. I really despise them. But you better believe I arm myself. I see this fully as an attempt to divide us more. I believe Charlie Kirk's death was orchestrated. That's my opinion. I did not take that from anybody else. It's my opinion as a skeptic. I hate to say it, because I know today is meant to mourn. But it's what I believe. It's not lost on me that he was shot in the carotid artery, same place where Inya was stabbed, which is basically a guaranteed instant death. If you saw the video, the amount of blood that came out of his neck was unreal. It affected me all day. I've seen plenty of gore videos, and I'm not saying this to be an edgelord, but I've never had a video like that affect me so much. The only other one I can think that came close was Irinya's death, which I couldn't bring myself to watch because it was so horrific. Again, I highly encourage everybody to do their own research and educate themselves, and always question everything. I want to end this with my thoughts and prayers going out to Charlie and his family, and to anybody else who was affected by this, and to my viewers. I pray for all of you. I hope everybody stays safe, and that you all make good choices and you're not in the wrong place at the wrong time. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. Shortly after I finished recording this video, I was informed that Charlie Kirk's assassination person of interest was released and the gunman is still at large. I hope that he's caught as soon as possible and that Charlie Kirk's family gets justice. I'm going to leave you guys with the proverb, one that I feel really exemplifies this. Matthew 5:44-45. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, so that you may be sons of your Father who is in heaven, for he causes his sun to rise on the evil and the good, and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous.